Hi, everybody. I'm AJ Willoughby. Thank you so much for joining us again on the Monday Night Product Training Call. We have such a huge month that has been happening this month with so many different things as far as the products that have been coming out, the changes, just some of the things that have just been incredible that you've been hearing about on these calls every Monday night. And tonight, we're going to be finding out about the next one in line, the trim that just started shipping that is incredible. What's different about it? Well, that's what we're finding out tonight with our CEO, Mr. Ryan Anderson. I'll tell you a little bit about this guy that you may not know. He has been in this industry he was practically born in this industry.
He's like at least 96 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. He has helped start numerous companies, get companies going, worked with different companies, billion-dollar companies that he went and helped develop and take to huge realms. So he knows what he's doing. This is a guy who was a master in this industry and who I am so privileged to be able to call not just a friend, but a brother, and so love him so much. And when you get a chance to meet this man in person, for those of you who haven't yet, and know the heart and that he has for the people he meets. When you meet him, you're automatically best friends. This is just one of those guys that just does that. You know, it doesn't CEO titles, anything like that. None of that matters to him. It's people that matter to him, and that's what we love so much about having him at the helm of M Network. So, Ryan, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you lead us into what's going on with the trim.
Awesome. Well, AJ, the feeling is absolutely mutual. You're the baby brother that I always wanted. You got the looks, the talent, the ability, the drive, the girl. I mean, seriously, the list just goes on and on and on. So the singing voice, I don't know if you guys have ever had the opportunity to hear AJ and Jill sing, but it's like angels singing. The heavens opened up and it's miraculous for sure. So
fallen angels, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I definitely. It's an angel wearing a Harley coat for sure. So, but as you guys can tell, we have been extremely busy here at the M Network. The staff has been working around the clock, and the scientists and the scientific advisory board and Dr. Templeman and just everybody. It's just been really, really exciting. It's been fun. It's been a lot of work. Not a lot of time for sleep, but it's been really a lot of fun. And so this is the fifth product in 5 weeks, 5 products in 5 weeks that the company has launched. Now, some of them has launched underneath the same name, but they're absolutely completely different products with the core, the go. And tonight we're talking about the trim. And just before we start, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys, because I know that there has been a lot of anticipation and there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of waiting for the new trim to come. And I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for not only being strategic business partners with us here at corporate, but for your patience while we were getting everything just right. And that's something that we strive really hard here to do at the M Network. We don't want to rush anything. We want to make sure everything is right before we ever roll it out and go live. And so I get the distinct honor and privilege tonight to introduce you to the new trim. And the packaging on the screen versus the packaging in real life does not do it justice. Josh and Dave and the team did an incredible job. Trim, I think, is by far one of my favorite packaging so far. And I know it's really strange to get excited about packaging. Most of us are excited about what's inside the package. That's what really counts, right? That's at least what my mom told me. It's, you may have a face for radio, Ryan, but it's what's on inside that counts. But the trim stick is absolutely amazing. It pops, it stands out. Whether you've got it on a retail shelf or you got it in your cupboard or on your shelf at home or at your desk at work, people are going to be flipping out above the packaging and wanting to know what's inside of it. And so, as you can tell, you know, the packaging is that same retail look and feel. So you've got the sticks, you have, it's there, you can tear it. It makes it easy to display. And now every package or every box now becomes its very own retail display, which is fun and exciting. And the thing I love most, I mean, I've always loved our packaging. I think M's always done a great job of that Saks Fifth Avenue packaging and branding and look and feel. But the thing I love most about the new packaging is that you don't have to, like, if you have all of them sitting on the shelf, like me, I'm a stick addict. I am seeing somebody for that, but you know, you don't have to guess which stick is which now and going and looking at the lids or looking at that. They proudly, boldly tell you which one they are just by their own packaging. And just like our children, right? AJ and Jill just married off a beautiful daughter this past weekend. Just like our children, each of the products have their own personalities and benefits. And come on, let's face it, we all have our own favorite child, right? And I got to tell you, after this week, you know, tasting the new trim, I'm kind of getting a new favorite child, you know. I'm definitely excited about it. So let's talk about what's new in the trim. And so we adjusted the mix of natural caffeine. Why? We did this because, and we did this also in the Go. And what we're finding is that all of our products have always been formulated to be in the system between 8 and 10 hours. And so, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to prolong the effect of that. Now, they're still formulated to be in the system between 8 to 10 hours, depending on your metabolism. Some will be less, some will be more. But what we wanted to do was to prolong that euphoric effect that you're going to feel from the energy and the appetite control and everything else with the product. And so that was the reason why we adjusted the mix of natural caffeine. Again, we are committed to making sure that we don't use any synthetic stimulants in anything that we do, so that we don't have the jitters, we don't have the crash, we don't have any of the negative effects that comes from stimulants, but the natural mix of caffeine. Now, caffeine, most people, when they think about caffeine, they think it's energy, right? You know, coffees, energy drinks, caffeine pills. Was traveling a week or so ago and stopped at a truck stop, and you know, you browse, you see, and there was a whole segment of caffeine pills and caffeine shots and caffeine this and caffeine that. It was like, holy crap, Batman, you know, it was all of those things. And so people usually associate caffeine with energy. But what most people don't understand is that caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant as well. And so by prolonging the effects of the natural caffeine, we're also prolonging that, you know, self-control in a box from an appetite control and helping with the cravings as well. Now, we also added a patented ingredient, which I'm probably going to spend the majority of the time talking about tonight. We added 2 patented ingredients to our product. Core has the same patented ingredient, and so does Go, which is the bioperin, which is the increasing the bioavailability by 25 to 45%. I'll talk about that now a little bit, and then I'm going to get back into the short chain polyphenols from lychee, which is called oligonol, which is the patented ingredient. But let's talk about bioperin really quickly. Not going to spend a lot of time on it because we talked about it in the core, we talked about it with the Go, and now we're talking about it with the trim. And the benefits of this is that because of our RDT technology, we have the ability of getting the product not only past our taste barriers because it tastes great, getting it into the gut, but getting it through the gut into the bloodstream so that it can go in and have the effects from a cellular level is very important. And our RDT technology gave us a competitive advantage over the competition with other stick packs or powders that are on the market. Hey, we're in a marketing world, and we weren't the first to think about putting something in a stick pack, but we are the very best at doing, from getting it from the stick pack into your mouth, making it taste great, getting it into your gut, getting it from the gut into the bloodstream so that it can have that effect. Adding the bioperin, again, patented ingredient, increase that bioavailability by 25 to 45%. So you take something that was already amazing, and then you add an additional 25 to 45% of that, it's pretty remarkable about what it's going to do in the body. So again, I don't need to spend a lot of time talking about that because you're going to experience it and feel it firsthand. Now let's talk about the short chain polyphenols from lychee. I'm not expecting you to remember that. I'm not expecting you to understand. Again, we're in the business of telling stories, not in the business of education. But you guys are on here to learn about the product, so we're going to dive into this a little bit. It's great for energy, it's great for vasodilation, and it's great for visceral fat loss. Let's talk about those two things really quickly. Vasodilation is important because what it's doing is it's actually opening up the blood vessels in your body. And by opening up those blood vessels, it's not only important to get these phytonutrients into your bloodstream, but it's also important for the body, once it's in the bloodstream, to be able to find the location that it's going to give you the most maximum efficacy. You know, I'm a big car guy. I love cars, 50s, 60s, early 70s muscles, not too much into late 70s muscle because it wasn't as cool, kind of chicken muscles at that point. But when you look at an automobile and you look at the way that it was manufactured, from the engine to the drivetrain to the transmission to the system and the wiring and all of the things, and the way that the engine and everything works together for optimal performance is a work of art. But when you start looking at the human body, you take all of the mechanics in the automobile industry and you add it to the miraculous body, this God-given body that we have, and the body knows exactly where to get those nutrients. So it's our job to get those nutrients into the bloodstream so that the body knows where to apply those and get them for the maximum efficacy so that the body can actually use them. And so the vasodilation is very important. So, and most people, when they're talking about weight loss or weight management or whatever you want to call it, they never get into that level of detail because they think it's all about calories in and calories out. But that's only a very small portion of weight management or weight loss. Getting proper nutrition into the body and into the areas that's going to give it the maximum efficacy is of the utmost importance for you to be able to get the results that you deserve. You can eat healthy, you can eat clean, you can exercise, but without proper nutrition and getting proper nutrition into the bloodstream and into the areas that you need it, you're not always going to be able to get the results that you need. And so therefore, a lot of times, I was listening to an audiobook over the weekend, and it talked about 80% of the women doubt their outward appearances every day. And, I kind of take that to heart a little bit, because we are very, very blessed. I've been very, very blessed and fortunate to have been surrounded by some pretty incredible, amazing, talented, powerful women in my life. And to think about that people actually doubt themselves, their outward appearance, or have a negative perception of themselves from an outward appearance, is kind of hurts my heart a lot, And so, and a big part of that isn't necessarily their fault, right? They could be exercising, they could be eating correctly, they can be doing all of these things. And so that's the thing I'm most excited about with the Trim product is that we're going to help transform people's bodies and their minds and their outward perception of themselves because of what we're doing. And a big part of that is with the visceral fat loss, and I'm going to talk about that here, and enhanced thermogenesis. So I'm stealing some of these slides from Dr. Templeman at Leadership. So astragalus, which is in the choreo, but the short chain polyphenols from lychee is a powerful peripheral vasodilation effects, diverts blood flow to the muscles and skin from the gut through nitric oxide effect. So again, this is more than just calories in and calories out. This is the ability to move this nutrition to the areas in the most efficient and effective manner possible to get maximum results. It also dampens the effect of fat building enzyme, FAS, and mobilizes fat preferentially from the gut and where the gut stores visceral fat. Now let's talk about that. That was a mouthful. I don't know if you guys could tell I was having a hard time with that. Of course, I did grow up on Hooked on Phonics that didn't really work for me. But again, so there's an enzyme, FAS, that's in our body that determines whether we store fat or we use fat. See, Tony Robbins probably has this lecture. It's on YouTube. I would strongly recommend it, where he's talking about diet and so many things. And he said something one day that really stood out to me, because in society and in life and everything, and especially in certain cultures, food it's a social aspect. It's a social thing. It's for gatherings and different things. AJ and Jill, I think Andy said you guys had cooked over 200 pounds of chicken or something. That's a lot of chickens. But for their wedding this past weekend, food is typically a cultural aspect of things. But Tony Robbins, in his lecture, he talks about that if we viewed food as it truly was or is, as fuel, our outlook on what we put into our bodies would be drastically different. And, for me, like that's been a huge turning point in my life, especially when looking at nutrition. And so the body, when we put food or fuel into our bodies at the time of consumption, determines how we're going to use that. Are we going to use it as fuel, or are we going to use it or we're going to store that as fat that we can later use as fuel, right? And that's why a lot of times people talk about eating after a certain time of the day before going to bed and so on and so forth, because you're fueling your body with something and then going to bed and doing different things. And so this trim with the short chain polyphenols from lychee, which again is a patented ingredient, it helps the body take that enzyme and it's going to turn it into energy versus the fuels and foods that we're eating. So not only is this going to help us, but the foods we are eating, it's going to help that enzyme to mobilize the fat and turn it into fuel. With trim and this patented ingredient called oligonol, this is just 15 minutes. If you look at the 4 frames, there's the frame in the top left-hand corner, and which is the start, and then the top right-hand corner is 5 minutes later. The bottom left-hand corner is 10 minutes, and then the bottom right-hand corner is 15 minutes. Now, some people might look at that and say, I don't know if I want that thermogenesis going on. But really what we're looking at here is we're looking at 2 things. We're looking at blood flow, and we're also looking at thermogenesis. When you're looking at fat and looking at body percentages of fat, one of the challenges that we have is the fat that's around our organs. Again, we can exercise, we can do sit-ups. I don't know who would do that, but some people might want to. But which is great for burning calories and doing different things. But a lot of times, again, it comes down to supplementation and nutrition and how we have that in the body. And so this image, I think, is a perfect example of what the product is doing in our bodies. It's increasing the body's thermogenesis. So it's going to take the body's fat that's already within itself, and it's going to help burn that fat and turn it into energy. So what you're going to feel is you're going to feel a calm, consistent energy. You're going to feel that thermogenesis, that burn. You're going to feel it longer. Sometimes people think of that burn is not necessarily a good thing. In this case, it is a good thing. And so you're going to feel that thermogenesis and burn for a little bit longer. And what that's going to do is this next image I need to explain is if you were to take the torso and you were going to cut it in half. So just above the belly button, you cut the torso in half and you look downward into the torso. This is what you're going to see. And so this screening, and again, no humans were cut in half for this purposes of this study. There's a special machine that does this. But the red that you're seeing on the screen is the visceral fat. There's no exercise that helps one burn visceral fat. The body has to take that fat that is stored around the organs and convert that into a calm, consistent energy in order to burn that. There's no exercise, there's no amount of sit-ups, there's no amount of hills that you can climb that's going to burn that visceral fat. And so the beautiful thing about this picture is that, again, using this patented ingredient, we can show that the trim is helping one burn. This is after 30 days, burn visceral fat around the organs, which is really hard to get rid of. So we talk about trim in the short and sweet of it is that it is a appetite control, helps increase thermogenesis. But the thing I love about this, there's a competing product on the market, which I won't talk about. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up today is I got a testimonial. One of our members got her trim today, and she was talking about comparing it to a leading competitor. And she said, the thing that I love about it is right on the box, it says of the leading competitor that it says, science has shown that it may help aid in weight loss. Science has shown that it may help with weight loss. So will a Twinkie. It may or may not help, right? Trim has 2 patented ingredients in it that shows without a shadow of doubt that it can and will help aid in weight loss, weight management, and getting rid of that visceral fat. Again, vasodilation, increasing blood flow, moving the nutrients through the body to have the positive effect that it needs. The other patented ingredient, increasing the thermogenesis, helping burn visceral fat. It's going to help with appetite control. It's going to help with cravings. It's going to help with energy. And it's the willpower in a box that we've all been praying for and looking for. And it's exclusively here at the M Network. And I haven't even talked about the flavor yet. So I did something kind of fun today, opened up a trim stick, which has been really coveted around the M office as of lately, and poured everybody a sample and just took it around, just set it on their desk, didn't tell them what it was. And everybody in the office absolutely loved the flavor. They love what it does. Again, it's that great kiwi strawberry flavor, but I feel like it is a cleaner, crisper, more vivid flavor in your mouth. And again, compared to the leading competitor, in her words, not mine, 10 times better from a flavor perspective. And you can't get much better than that. So AJ, I really appreciate you allowing me to get on these calls and talk with you guys. We actually get Dr. Templeman back next week. They're actually allowing him to leave the country of Thailand to come home to his family here that loves him and misses him. And so you guys won't have to listen to my annoying voice each and every day, but I'm happy to answer any questions or go into anything. AJ, I don't know if there was any questions or anything. Again, I apologize for people not being able to see my screen, but it's probably.
Was there anything on the slides that people were wondering was there any of the slides that we needed to, that would be good to see there?
We can make these available. This one, just the short chain polyphenols from lychee. So using real scientific words. There's that one. Here's this one. Oops, that one was in the core. And then new trim. So not really.
The big words. The big
words.
words.
Big scientific words that Dr. T put on there. And then just a picture of the packaging. But hopefully you guys got to see the cool packaging together.
Great. All right, Canada. Is this retail ready in Canada?
It is retail ready in Canada. It's we've got the structure function claims from Health Canada. The formula has been approved by Health Canada. The only last thing that we're waiting for is it's been approved, ready to go. They just haven't issued us the NPN number, and we're expecting that any day. In fact, I expected it 2 weeks ago. So government agencies, gotta love them. And so it is retail ready. We just need the NPN number. We'll slap that on the box and we're good to go. But we got the structure function claims, and Health Canada has already given the nod to the formula. So that means we've got Go, Core, and Trim, and soon Soul registered in Canada.
Great. And all right, so pricing. So we've got all these enhancements to the product. So how has this changed our pricing for us?
Yeah, so now we were $39.95 wholesale, $44.95 retail with the old trim. With the new trim, we're $109 wholesale and $210 retail. I'm kidding. I actually get really excited. I'm glad you asked the question. I get really excited about, because again, I've been with companies in the past that have, made enhancements to products, and, patented ingredients are not cheap. Licensing those things and doing different things is not cheap, using other people's science and so on and so forth. And so they increase the price of the product. The company never carries the burden of that. And because of our members and the rapid growth that we've had and the experiences that we've had in short order, we've been able to leverage our economies of scale. The more products you produce, the lower your production costs go. So therefore, rather than using that as profit and putting it back into the pockets and getting the facelift that I so greatly needed until the 8-in-1 came out, we're giving that back to the members. And so we're just passing those cost savings along to our members and investing in our products and increasing the quality of the products. And so the product price, $39.95, wholesale, retail $44.95, retails $2 a stick, and making a body skinny near you.
Wow, that's incredible. That really, really is. So did the trim have, let's see, nitric oxide? I don't think that.
So that's one of the properties. If you go back to the slide here, it's part of the effect of the short chain polyphenols from lychee. When people think of nitric oxide, a really common natural one is red beets, is a great, biodieselator, and nitric oxide is that. So again, a property of the short chain polyphenols from lychee is the powerful peripheral vasodilation effects, which again is diverting blood flow to muscles and skin, and from the gut through the nitric oxide effect. And so just like you would with red beet juice, we're getting that through the polyphenols from lychee.
And the effects of that go way beyond. Go on and on and on.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as a gentleman that thought that his body fat was a zip code, 5-digit zip code. I've one of the things that I've added to my workout regimen, because I'm training for a marathon because misery loves company. But these two together, Go and Trim, stacking those together, has been an awesome pre-workout for me. I love those two together. I feel like I can, climb the Empire State Building and jump over the Statue of Liberty, like when I've got those two in my system.
Awesome. I imagine you could probably do that anyways.
Well, when I'm dreaming of Wonder Woman, I can. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a couple other things that are coming up. Well, real quick, and that is tomorrow night we have the corporate training call.
Yes.
Tell us what we're going to be hearing on the corporate training call tomorrow night.
So tomorrow night, we actually have a special guest speaker that's going to be on the call tomorrow night. Some of you will know him, some of you won't, but all of you will after the call tomorrow night. And a big part of anything in life is mindset. And I think that mindset is the number 2 step in building a successful business of any kind. And so tomorrow night is going to be all on mindset, and it's going to be a special guest speaker that's going to be on the call tomorrow night that will be helping on that. So mindset, get your mindset correct, is going to be the one tomorrow.
Wonderful. And then don't forget, Saturday morning we have our business call. We get caught up on all kinds of stuff. So be sure to go to mnetworkcalls.com. That's where you find the information to log into these calls. And you can, some of them you just click right there, or you can dial in. So you don't want to miss that. And that's mnetworkcalls.com to get on these calls and get the training that you want and that you need. I'll tell you, here we are. We're going into the summertime, getting your bikini look happening and your swimsuit look, whatever it is you want to go for the summer. And with this new product trim that the formulation of this is just going to be so powerful. You need to make sure that you've got a good stash of it. And
yeah, AJ and I are already working on our Speedo bodies for the cruise to the Bahamas. Hey, just a couple really quick questions. Bill Hinkey, help you and your beautiful wife are doing fantastic all the way up from Texas. The new trim is what is in the sample packs that are going out. I think that was the question they was asking. It is the new trim, the new core, and the new go. And then we will, as soon as we get the NPN number from Health Canada, we will release those structure function claims val. And then Catherine, the old trim did not have the nitric oxide effects from the short chain polyphenols from lychee. This is brand new. Like I said, same great name, same great stories, but two patented ingredients that make trim extremely, I think if in my own humble opinion, I think it is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, weight loss or weight management aid product on the marketplace today.
Yeah, this is incredible. We're all going for that Dennis Ligon look.
Yes.
More like Dennis.
Absolutely. Those 12-pack abs, I mean, seriously, Sue said that's what made her fall in love with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Ryan, thank you so much. Next week, again, we've got Dr. Templeman that will probably be popping in, but we're also going to be having Deidre Howard is going to be with us next week. And we're going to be talking about the 8-in-1 product that is in the M Labs right now. So be sure and tune in with us next week. But make sure that you've got some of this new trim. It just started shipping. So
shipping now. Yes, shipping now. In fact, some of the members have been starting to post pictures and excitement about the flavor and benefits already. So it is shipping now. And again, Willpower in a Box coming to a home near you.
Wonderful. All right. Well, everybody have a great night. Thank you again, Ryan, and appreciate everybody being on the call. So
God bless you guys. Love you. Thanks, AJ. Appreciate you, my friend. Love you.
You too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.